Hey, happy Monday. I am Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, here to talk a little Monday Night Football action, the end of what was a outstanding week one. The Denver Broncos head to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Russ Wilson revenge game. Truth be told, I don't think Russ has a little ounce of hate in his heart, so it's not going to go down like that. But there are a few things I want to talk about from a betting and a DFS perspective. But before we do that, look what we're left with. 75% done, gone, over. 90% off coupon, done, gone, over. What are you left with? Beastie. As I said, you and me, simpatico, rest of the season. Use that promo code Beastie. You'll get $10 off your first month of premium services. And how was your week one DFS lines, with or without Team Rise or Fall? I'm sure without Team Rise or Fall, they were, okay, you're looking to take it to the next level and really get it going here. Then now is the perfect time to join, right ahead of Monday Night Football. Excuse me. I got football on the brain. I know this is a DFS video. Taking every ounce of me not to recap the entire Sunday's action here, but let's get into it. We'll bring in the study hub in parts. We'll do some player graphics, and it'll just be me and you talking about Monday Night Football. Hang around. Be right back. Hello, and we are back. Here's the study hub in all its glory, and boy, oh boy, is this thing so outstanding. It's how I almost said effing, the F word, but I try and keep these PG just in case. I don't want to, ostracize an entire audience, or, I don't know if they're 12, 13-year-old kids that are getting into DFS, they're watching the video and they go, well, Ma, Chris said the F word, so well, you can't watch the videos anymore. But here we are, no F word. We'll keep it PG. Here's the study hub in all its glory, as I said, and we're going to keep it up a minute or two, maybe go through the quarterbacks, a couple RBs, and maybe a wide receiver. Then we'll bring my face back in, because to be fair, I think that's more comfortable for me, at least, more intimate, right? You and I, we're watching the video, we're talking DFS. It's like we're just, sitting having coffee or having a beer or whatever. So we'll go over a couple things, and I'm just working this out on the fly as we go. As you could see yesterday's video, I was all about the study hub, and then I pulled the fast one. Halfway through the video, I said, you know what? This doesn't seem, I don't know how long people are going to tune in if they're just looking at a screen. When you could see me and all my violent hand gestures and that, I think that's the move. That's why you come to watch these single game videos, for the beastie analysis, but also the way in which I word stuff and my violent hand gestures. No other way to put it. So as we see this thing, Denver is at Seattle tonight. Kickoff's around 8:15 in Seattle. Over under right now is at about 44 from what I've seen. I don't think it's going to be at a moment in time. I think it was like 40, 42 and a half, like early in the week. So it's actually been bumped up to 42. What does that tell us? 2.5 points, 1.5 points, something like that. Not much. And what I'm going to get to is, again, I do this all the time. I don't know if you guys are sick, if you guys or girls are sick of hearing it yet, but sometimes a DFS story is best told backwards. Like, let's start with the ending and we'll work our way back. Like, well, how did you get, let's do the ending first, and then I'll tell you in rewind how we got to the ending here. And I think Denver wins this game, and I'm sure as heck betting the over 44 in this one. Some books, I've seen it at 42 and a half. That's a smash spot here. When we look at the quarterbacks here, let's just start with Russ Wilson. I mean, he is the all eyes are going to be on Russell Wilson tonight, right? He played for Seattle for the length of his career. They drafted him. He came out of nowhere, won them a Super Bowl. They played in another Super Bowl. Interception on the 1-yard line. We know all the things with Russ. Dange Russ, corny Russ, married to Sierra Russ. I mean, there's a million different versions of Russ here, but the only one I care about tonight is, what is this guy going to do on the field? And when you look at his price tag right now, 17 grand on FanDuel. Again, just a reminder, FanDuel captain and MVP spots are all the same. On DK, there is a difference, but my DK price tags that I give you in this video are all just like flex spots, right? And you can, figure it out on your own. I think Geno Smith is 14 grand on FanDuel. On DK, he's 8.6. In his captain spot, Geno is a little bit higher. Why would you do that? I don't know, unless you're maxing out entries. Back to Russ Wilson, Denver at Seattle. Seattle's 15th overall against opposing quarterbacks. And again, I've seen some threads and some comments and a lot of stuff on Twitter since this trade has happened, and more, it's kind of heated up the last few weeks. Like the one I keep seeing a lot is, nobody knows Russ Wilson's weaknesses more than Pete Carroll in Seattle. Well, hey, Russ Wilson is a effing gamer. This guy just gets it on the field. We see the videos of him practicing everything from start to finish, running out of the tunnel, practicing fake hand slaps, being on the field, just visualizing everything. And again, make fun all you want. This guy's playing in the NFL at a high level still, so who am I to make fun of some guy like that when I'm here recording this video right now? As I said, DK 11-8 on Yahoo. He's $31. I have Russ, a healthy stat line, 20 completions, around 250 yards. I think his carries are what's going to vary, what's going to set him apart from the crowd tonight. Is he willing to, go above and beyond? He's going to be gassed up. He's back in Seattle. And to truth be told, the fans still love him. He did nothing wrong. They're going to cheer. I would imagine there's going to be a moment here in the beginning of the game where they're going to have to stop or before kickoff. And he's going to look around, maybe have his football helmet up in the air. I don't know. That's the way I'm picturing tonight's game. So in terms of carries, maybe he goes the extra step here, 4 or 5 carries, 25 to 30 yards. I do think he throws 2 touchdowns. That third touchdown on some kind of scamper or some kind of, direct snap play, that's the wild card here. Can't really count on that. And when you see his DK ownership only 0.3%. And again, these numbers are still young. They're still fresh. It is early in the Monday morning as I'm recording this. No, it's not live. And on FanDuel, only 0.5%. And to be fair, I don't think this takes single game ownership percentages into action. I just noticed it. Game time, Monday. There it is. So when we look at the next upcoming quarterback, that's Geno Smith. And here he is right here. Red across the board. He beat out Drew Lock. Well, how bad does that make Drew Lock? Geno Smith, New York Jets drafted this guy years ago. He hasn't caught on anywhere, but now he gets a chance to start for Seattle, but Seattle's desperate. You know what I mean? We've all been in those spots when we're desperate, whether we're, single or we're drinking or what, we get desperate and we do silly stuff here, and Seattle seems to be that way starting Geno Smith. Denver's second overall against opposing quarterbacks. I think they're going to make life a living hell for Geno Smith today. $14K on FanDuel, 8.6 on DK, and $20 on Yahoo. But the stat line still is going to be okay in a way. 22 completions, around 230 to 240 passing yards, 3 carries. That's about minimum, or maximum 3 carries for Geno, 10 yards and a touchdown pass here. And then I think that's about it. They're going to give Penny, Homer, DJ Dallas, or maybe, some quick hit stuff to Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf when we get there. All right, when we get to the running backs and wide receivers, I'm going to bring down the study hub. It'll be my face and we'll get to it. Give me a sec, all right? Hey, and here we are, just you and I again. In the study hub, where to find it. At Team Rise or Fall on Twitter, or you just type it in the browser. You're good to go. When we look at the running backs tonight, there's a few things, how can I put this? A lot of narratives or storylines happen in the offseason leading up to week 1. And, I've seen a bunch of tweets that maybe we need to, did we get a lot of things wrong for week 1? Yeah, we had all summer to just sit around and twiddle our thumbs and be weirdos, which I enjoy. But when we look at Javonte and Melvin Gordon III, right? Everyone was like, Melvin Gordon waited and re-signed with Denver, and we heard a collective across social media. Everybody wants Javonte Williams to be that guy, that RB1, that workhorse stud so bad. And truth be told, I think they both can get along in this offense. And I rarely do I get into arguments or scrums on social media about player statistics and things like that. But I'm here to say, I think both can get along here long term this season at least. And when you look at it, I have Javonte as the true RB1. 15 carries, 65, maybe 70 yards, 3 receptions, 25 yards, and I think he finds the end zone on the ground. When we look at Melvin Gordon, I do want to remind you this, Seattle 31st overall against opposing running backs, so I think they're just going to hammer Javonte and Melvin all day with the occasional Russell Wilson drop back or play action. We know Russ Wilson does his best work in play action, kind of like Tom Brady. We heard Chris Collinsworth say that a million times last night. Russ Wilson kind of cut from the same cloth here. You pound the running rock or the football, whatever you want to call it, and then that opens up play action to either side of the field here, depending on how you have what is the strong side of the offensive line. When we look at Melvin Gordon III, as I said, Seattle 31st against opposing running backs, 10K on FanDuel, 7.4 on DK, $20 on Yahoo. A little pricey for me on Yahoo, but hey, here we are. A lot of projections have Gordon at like 8 or 9 carries. I think that's low, so I took it upon myself to say that I believe MG3 is going to get around 10 carries, does well, about 40, 45 yards. You're looking, his average for his career is like 4 or 5 yards a pop. That's fine by me. A reception or two, 12 yards, and we move it on. When we look at the Seattle running back room, it's all about Rashad Penny. Shout out to Chris Carson, had that nasty neck injury, got a plate in there, and he was forced to retire. We all wish him the best. Chris Carson, in his heyday, heyday was a pretty damn good fantasy running back here, but that time is over, and it's Rashad Penny's turn if this guy can get it started. We all know the rub on Penny. First round selection, can never catch on, can never stay healthy, but last year, finally, they fed him the ball, and he did very well. Let's see if he can keep that rolling. The same kind of narrative, if I may say, it just hit me, Amon-Ra St. Brown for the Detroit Lions. No homerism here, I'm just saying the same thing was said about Amon-Ra. Late last season, he was peppered with targets because the Lions had no other choices, but when you look at yesterday, he was even peppered with even more targets. I think his target share was like 15.9 or something percent here. So Rashad Penny got the same kind of thing going on. Let's see what we get out of Penny tonight. 12-5 on FanDuel, 7-8 on DK, $21 on Yahoo. Denver 16th overall against opposing running backs, 15-16 carries. You love to see that. 75, maybe 80 yards. I'm being a little bullish or over dramatic, on Rashad Penny here because, again, like you, I want to see this guy succeed and do well. When we look at his receptions, 2 receptions, 3 would be like the max. 3 receptions from Penny would be sweet, because they have Homer and DJ Dallas in that lineup here. But Penny, as I said, 2 receptions, 12 yards, and I do think he finds the end zone on the ground. The other Seattle running backs, not much to say. You look at Travis Homer, DJ Dallas, Homer 7.5 on FanDuel, Dallas 8,000 on FanDuel. When you go to DK, Travis Homer only $1,400 on DK, while DJ Dallas is only $400 on DK. Between the two, I have a difference of a carry or two. I have DJ Dallas to actually see just a smidge more work than Travis Homer. So if you're in a pinch, you want to use one of these guys on DK for salary relief, have at it. I would prefer DJ Dallas. When we talk about the wide receivers, now we're talking. You're like, Chris, I would wait, been like 5 minutes. You're talking, but just saying nothing. You're talking, but you're saying nothing. Tell me about the wide receivers: Judy, Sutton, DK, and Tyler Lockett and D. Eskridge to a certain degree here. Let's cool our horses. Jerry Judy, let's start with him. Seattle's 10th overall against opposing wide receivers. Long gone are the Legion of Boom days. That Seattle secondary is not really, scary anymore. And that 10th overall DVP rank is probably based on, what happened last season, or maybe they sprinkle in preseason, numbers for DVP in week 1. I don't know, but I'm going to attack the heck out of Seattle secondary. Jerry Judy, $11,000 on FanDuel, 8.2 on DK, $16 on Yahoo. Cortland Sutton, $12,000 on FanDuel, 9.4 on DK, $18 on Yahoo. And when you go down, I'm excited to see KJ Hamler active tonight. He is questionable. I have my notes. I have a queue with a box around it. We'll see what he does. $9,000 on FanDuel is a little much for me to sit, maybe, let's see what he does on my lineups. Again, if you're going to put in multi-entries, then KJ Hamler should be on your radar. 4 targets, 3-4 receptions, a healthy 40, 45 yards for Hamler. As we rewind, Judy and Cortland Sutton. As it stands right now, maybe it's the safe move, but it is week 1. Don't want to just, shoot my shot and just completely lose an audience in week 1 here. So I'm going to keep it safe for this video at least. Jerry Judy, Cortland Sutton, almost identical stat lines, both 7 targets. I have Judy with 1 more catch, 5 receptions for about 70 yards. Cortland Sutton, 4 receptions for 60 yards. And truth be told, between the two, as I said, I have Javonte finding the end zone on the ground, and I have Russell Wilson throwing 2 touchdown passes. In a perfect world, Judy would get 1, Cortland Sutton would get 1. So we'll see how it goes. When we look at the Seattle side of things, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and that's about it. I do like to see the second round guy, D. Eskridge, getting a little love. I have D around 4 targets, few receptions, no more than 30 yards, and they got Marquise Goodwin. I wrote in my notes, not kidding. I found that gem out last night. Don't think he's worth, mentioning, especially being $6,000 on FanDuel. I think the minimum on FD is like $5,000 or $5,500, and Goodwin, God only knows what's going to go on with him. But when you look at DK Metcalf, by the way, Denver, their secondary is something to talk about. They're 9th overall against opposing wide receivers, but a guy like DK Metcalf, the rub on him, I know I keep using that, is nothing. Is he quarterback proof? Is he start proof? Set it and forget it guy? He has been. He was with Russell Wilson as quarterback, but now with Geno Wilson, what can we expect? So today he is a guy that he's the $13,000 on FanDuel, 8.4 on DK. At his price tag, I'm willing to put him in my line and see. see. This guy is just an exceptional talent. He's built like a Greek god, an Adonis. We know that. I swear, when you look at DK Metcalf, 8 or 9 targets in this one, 6, 7 receptions, 75 to 80 yards would be beautiful, and he will catch a touchdown pass. That's a completed pass. This is a touchdown. I finally got it moving on the college football video. When we go down, Tyler Lockett, he was a stud because I don't want to take away Tyler Lockett's talent, and it's all based on a quarterback here. But we all know, you and I watching this, we all know Russ Wilson throws one of, if not the best deep balls in all of football here, and that was Tyler Lockett's specialty. Just burn, get under or over the defense, and Russ will just put it right where you need it. I got that right finally. Touchdown, completed pass here. So let's see what Geno Smith can do. And is Tyler Lockett going to be the Lockett of old, where you look and he has like 4 games in a season where he just takes over the entire slate? I think that era is over with Lockett, but I could be wrong. I'll be the first one to come and apologize to you and Tyler if you're watching. When you look at Lockett, 11.5 on FanDuel, $7K on DK, $17 on Yahoo, 7 targets, 5 receptions, about 60 yards. Does he get through the offense or the defensive backs and score a touchdown? We shall see. Let's move a little quicker here. We'll get to the tight ends, and there's not really much going on here. Actually, Albert OK and Noah Fant, those are the only 2 tight ends realistically that we should care about. We know we have Eric Tomlinson in my notes, Will Dissly. He's been around Seattle for a long time. We knew I hate that the videos become like, well, when Russ was quarterback of Seattle. I didn't mean it to be that way, but that just goes to show you what an outstanding all-pro good quarterback does to the cast of characters around him. Like punting a tight end is mainly, it's based on 2 factors, the DVP matchup and the quarterback, right? And now Will Dissly, I would go out on a limb all the time with him. Let's punt Will Dissly, right? You got Russ Wilson as the quarterback. They line up in 2 tight end sets in the red zone, and maybe Dissly will catch 1 or 2 passes, and one of those will be a touchdown. That's the old punt tight end kind of stat line. 2 targets, 1 reception, 1 touchdown. But let's start with Albert OK. Not even going to try to say his last name. Maybe you can spell it phonetically in the comments for me. Albert OK, $8,000 on FanDuel, $5K on DK, on Yahoo, $12. Seattle, not good against tight ends, 28th overall. When you look at Albert OK, 4 targets, 3 receptions, 35, 40 yards would be, I think today, 35 to 40 yards is his ceiling. That's the peak here. When we look at Noah Fant, Seattle, he was in Denver, so we got 2 little revenge storylines. Russ leaves Seattle, goes to Denver, right? And Noah Fant leaves Denver and goes to Seattle here. So when you look at Noah Fant, Denver's very good at covering tight ends. And to be fair, I'm not an analytics guy, right? I don't claim to be an analytics guy, but with a tight end like Noah Fant, to a degree, the DVP is based on the linebackers, right? How good are they in coverage? And Denver has a collection of studly linebackers, even some athletic defensive ends that can drop back if need be. So Noah Fant will be hard pressed for work tonight, but I do think that the volume will be there. $9,000 on FanDuel, 6.2 on DK, and Yahoo, he's $12, 5 targets, 4 receptions, and 40 yards. When we get to kickers, McManus, Jason Myers, you can make the decision there. The Broncos, Seahawks, DST, that's another decision. And based on my final score, I have it being about 28 to 21, 28 to 20. So defense is better left on the sideline in this one. If I had to choose one, probably it's got to be the Broncos, right? That's a slam dunk, actually. That's a kind of a slam dunk. And when you look at the Broncos, 9.5 on FanDuel, 4.8 on DK, only $14 on Yahoo. Is Geno Smith going to throw a touchdown or 2? Sure. Is he also going to throw an interception or 2? Sure. Is he going to fumble the football, and look foolish? I don't want to put that kind of juju on Geno, but that could happen. So of both defenses, the Broncos are very much in play at their price tag. Few betting trends, and we'll get the heck out of here and we can start our week off, on the right note. Monday Night Football. Denver 5-1 against the spread their last 6 games in September. Seattle 5-2 their last 7 games in September. And this is the big one. Why I love the over. The over is 4-1 the last 5 times these two have gone head to head. Over under right now at 44. You can get that at like minus $1.10, something like that. So Denver will win this game 28 to 20. The over will hit 48 total points here. And we stack them up. You can look at my notes. I love Javonte, DK Metcalf. I think Noah Fant is in for a great game. And then in the quarterback game, it's not even close. It's Russ Wilson all day. So before we split, make sure you go to the website, use promo code Beastie. You'll get $10 off your first month of premium services. Hopefully you used 90% or 75%. If you didn't, you turned into a pumpkin. Yes, I'm going to use that line one more time on today's video, and then I'm going to retire that one. So use promo code Beastie. You'll get $10 off your first month of premium services. Until I see you again, probably Thursday Night Football. Be good, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.